I'm Cem, and I will be presenting using 3D to 2D workflow for stylized game art. I'm an amateur streamer, and let me open my camera as well. Welcome to my workshop. Let me open the chat as well.
Chat kısmını da açmak istiyorum. Böylece herhangi bir şey yazarsanız görebilirim. Şimdi burada gördüğünüz bir iş akışı ve temel olarak sunum boyunca bunu üzerinden geçiyor olacağım ve oyun sanatı yönündeki temel birer birer anlatıyor olacağım. Şimdi ekranımı görebiliyor musunuz? Eğer göremezseniz lütfen bildirin bana. Kusura bakmayın beklettiğim için. Şu anda ekran paylaşımım siyah beyaz. Burada akışta bir sorun olursa lütfen bana söyleyin. Burada renkler bizim için önemli. O yüzden net görebilmenizi tercih ederim. Bir saniye lütfen. Sunumumu kapatıp bir açayım. Beklettiğim için tekrar özür dilerim. Bir diğeriyle devam edeceğim bu arada. Renkler geldi nihayet. Evet, şimdi olarak görülüyor değil mi? Ben şu anda Rainbow Six üzerinde çalışıyorum. Kendi stüdyomda. Ben burada bu süreç için tasarım ve genel oyun sanat artlarını yerine getirmekteyim. Aslında teknik olarak çoğunlukla çalıştığımı söyleyebilirim. Kim olduğum tabii ki çok önemli değil. Ancak bir tasarımcı olduğumu söyleyebilirim oyunlar konusunda. Bence bu iki ünvan yeterli aslında. Ancak tabii ki yeni dönemde oyuncular için oyuncak yaptığımı söyleyebilirim kısacası. Ben çok disiplinli olarak çalışıyorum. Bir grafik tasarımcısıyım. Görsel tasarım yapıyorum, sculpting yapıyorum, dijital boyama yapıyorum ve aynı zamanda bunların dışında kullanıcı deneyimi kısmında da oldukça fazla görevim var. Çoğunlukla etkileşim tasarımları yapıyorum, deneyim tasarımları yapıyorum arayüzü kullanarak ve ben sanat işlerini gerçekleştiriyorum ve sadece belirli amaçlar gereği kotasyonda yapıyorum. Tabii ihtiyaç olursa şimdi chat'i kontrol edeyim. Daha mesaj gelmemiş. Herhangi bir olursa lütfen sunum sırasında chat box kısmına yazın. Bir şekilde sunumla ilgili de olabilir. Bizler bugün neler yapacağız? Bizler temel olarak sanat yapacağız diyebilirim. Ve ben her bir aşamayı size detaylı olarak anlatacağım. Dijital kalitede bir oyun sanatı gerçekleştirmek için modeller. Ve şimdi buradaki süreç bildiğiniz gibi genel bir yaklaşım olacak. Araçlarla ilgili olarak referanslar da sunuyor olacağım sizlere. Aynı zamanda 2 boyutlu sanattan 3 boyutlu geçişte bazı trikler nelerdir, bazı ipuçları nelerdir bunları söylüyor olacağım. Burada ekrandaki ikonları görüyorsunuz. Bazıları 3 boyutlu temelde hazırlanmış. Bazıları ise tamamen 2 boyutlu yani karalama şeklinde ya da üzerinde oynama şeklinde yapılmış. Ve şimdi burada bildiğiniz gibi daha zengin renkler kullanılmış. Şimdi ben size bir soru sormak istiyorum. Şimdi bu soru ile beraber hızlıca başlamak istiyorum. Buradaki sanatın incelikleri nedir? Aslında zaman bana izin verdiği sürece tabii ki çok etkileşimli bir oturum gerçekleştirmek isterim. Halihazırda çalışan bir sanattan bahsediyoruz bu arada, bir işten bahsediyoruz. Ben sizi aşamalar boyunca bilgilendiriyor olacağım ve nihai olarak bir çizim de yapıyor olacağız bu yaptığımız iş temelinde. Tabii ki sorular ve cevaplarla devam etmeyi tercih ederim çizim sırasında. O yüzden aslında araçların temellerine, süreçlerin temellerine de giriyor olacağız art yönünde. Yani kendi sanatım başlığı altında. Aynı zamanda
softwares, but they are much more deeper subjects. So here is the tools that I prefer. For designing, I generally use ZBrush. So ZBrush is an industry standard. There's a lot of sculpting programs like a Blender, Sculptris or so. You can use any of them. To be honest, like Blender is quite powerful software for various kind of things. But the ZBrush is industry standard, and honestly, I see the most powerful software in designing in 3D is, I guess, the ZBrush, especially for sculpting purposes. And so this will be the designing process, and we will design some game object. Could be any kind of an icon, could be the architectural building, could be even the UI panels and backgrounds. And we will move on to the rendering process and what I do on the rendering process. For rendering purposes, I use KeyShot, which is directly integrated with the ZBrush. And you can use any kind of software for rendering. Even the ZBrush itself is pretty much enough. But I personally prefer KeyShot because it's super fast. And when I make some moves on my sculpture and make some changes, I can directly observe the impact of it. And when you are making the visual development, it's pretty much important to see your impact in no time. Because this back and forth processes take a lot of time. All right. Chat is going somewhere all the time. I will make this small. Awesome. And then we will make a rendering. And after that, we will just fundamentally paint it. And I will walk you through how to approach a general object, game object, in 3D to fake it like 2D. So actually, I will show how you can approach a visual art style to fake it. You can pretty much create any kind of art style, like not any kind of, but a vast umbrella of art styles with this technique. And nowadays is very, very popular for illustrators, for game artists, like a more generalist 3D artist, you name it. Like everybody pretty much uses similar techniques because the time is important. So let's go to the next slide. And the most important question is, like, the novice artist asks, why not use like just draw it and use 3D? So we game developers do art for functionality. We are not just going home or a museum, do an art for our wall or so, and we will always have a time pressure on us. And for the functionality purposes, tools are very, very powerful nowadays. Like it is like much powerful than like 15, 20 years ago. There is no art is perfect. Art is always subject to change, especially in game development. You do one concept, another concept, you make an iteration, it doesn't fit, it doesn't like, it is an iterative process, on and on and on. So the time is super precious to achieve something very, very good. Because you will be always working with the people, with art outsources, with engineers or so. And there will be always a meaningful, let's say, always a time pressure. Time pressure is good, it's not bad, but too much time pressure is also bad. So in order to flex your muscles in terms of your art, using the tools in a pretty good level is very, very important. Game development is sophisticated, so the art and visual development is also. And it requires a lot of time to figure out what we need, how we need, and when we need to actually making it. And actually, there is this Feng Zhu in one of the presentation. He said like, when you are working and with the customer, they always ask you this in a limited time. So if you say like, I did this in 10 hours and I did like nine hours of thinking and 1 hour of drawing, you will get no money. We usually do say, we draw this like 9 hours. We didn't have even time to polish it. We didn't even have time to think. But the reality is, you design all the time, you figure out what to do, and it's 9 hours in a scope of 10 hours. And you just can draw it in 1 hour. I will show you how to do it. Yeah, redesigning iterations, variations, explorations is time consuming. So we come to this subject. How many minutes I thought? That's pretty good, pretty good. Okay. So let's design and draw. Okay. Let's assume that we got debriefed that we need a defense tower art. Okay, we are making maybe an isometric game, and the client, or we are in the studio, or there's a client, and they need a defense tower. Players need to shoot because they are not able to shoot right now. They need the defense tower in no time, as always. Let's assume that we know their creative direction, and we know the artistic style. Maybe we made a couple of game assets before, and we are able to nail their artistic approach, because consistency in the game assets is super important, like in any arts discipline. It could be sketchy or super polished, but when you make things very, very consistent, it will eventually be called beautiful. So beautiful is something like that. And we did our mood board exploration, what kind of a game we have, what kind of a defense tower it can be. It is urgent, some players need to shoot, so let's design it. And yes, which is super important, art sourcing. It is very common nowadays. And you will be, as an artist, if you're an artist, you will be always working with customers, internally outsourcing or external outsourcing. So I highly recommend to check it out. So, okay. So there is a question, are there any suggestions for the techniques that we can use to start drawing exact thing on our minds? It is always subject to change along the way. Yeah, like you have something in your mind, and actually we will just do it right now. I will walk you through in my mind, in my self-art direction. And there will be always something in your mind, but the thing in your mind will not actually match what you need and what customer needs or what the game needs. There will be tweaks and it should be popping up if you are just doing that for yourself and for your own art-directed game with just art-oriented game, which we have actually pretty good games like that. It can work out, but most of the time, even when you are sketching, that's why we sketch actually. You sketch one thing and you sketch another idea, you choose behind through the ideas. So that's the magic of designing things. And you should be able to draw something and just scramble it, throw out the trash. That's make you a good artist. You have to build a little bit thick skin on it, so you don't feel like, oh, I drew this, it's very good, and it was just perfect art. There is nothing like that. You should be like, do good art, share it sometimes if you are proud of, or just to throw it to trash. And I will actually walk us through like how I think. And most of the artists, not just me. So creating the mood board is super important step of it. So I want to draw something. I know the specs. I got debriefed. I manage the money, how much money I will get. Maybe I'm motivated with it, which is good. I want to do something good. Imagining what type of art you need. The mood you want to achieve. Should it be a little bit dark? Should it be a little bit very, very saturated and whimsical? It's a quite a thing. So you have to think about the direction you are going in to support you to achieve something good. And it is, as I said, like I use this wording all the time. Good design starts with looking what other designs did and the other artists did, and ends with achieving same level or a little bit better or approximate level of art quality. And the functional one, the functionality should be always top of the other ones. So the mood board. I created random images just from Google. I just write it from Pinterest, say defense tower game. And I just pick up the ones that I feel can fit my art direction, and the ones that I like, and the ones that I want to go through that steps. And how I think on this step, I wanted to show this in 1 hour. It's a very, very limited time we have. So I keep that in mind. Like I have 1 hour, 2 hours to do it. And it's super important. I want to get my $100 from the customer. So it is important to keep that in mind. Don't do like, I will want to achieve this kind of level of art and I will give like 2 months to it. Yeah, you can do it. It is not the same. It's a very good thing actually, but what are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to achieve a level of arts polishing, or are you trying to make a functional art? So it is quite important to find the balance on that. So I use some 3D, some 2D items, some sculpts, and you can see over here, this one. Let me get a brush. Also, get my hands dirty a little bit. Let's pick like a reddish or turquoise something. Is good, yes. So I selected this 3D, which is a very, very easy shape and a similar shape as well. There is some Hordish World of Warcraft style sculpting over here. Very, very sketchy, possibly 2D hand drawn or hand painted one. I chose it. It's very medieval again. I wanted to go this medieval side. I thought like our game is maybe a little bit medieval. Is a common style, so I want to go that part. I choose the bulky objects like this, and I really like this one. And I just put up a mood board that I want to make a very fun to look at, easy to craft, a defense tower for our game. My layers. All right. Any questions so far? So good. Am I talking too fast? I'm not sure, but it's in the morning right now. I'm just finally waking up. All right. All good. Awesome. So here is your our defense tower. So I did this and almost the whole defense tower sculpting finished, and for me with designing, oh, this is good enough, in 1 hour and a half. I did the first 1 hour in our community, Toygel. I invite you, by the way, our Turkish developers, game developers community, our beloved community. And I did this, and not this version, I will show you in the next slide, in 1 hour and a half. So it depends on what you want to do in the 3D designing stage, and after that. You don't have to give all the details. Do you decide your color palette after modeling or before modeling? Awesome. I will come to that in like 3-4 slides later in depth. But most of the time, I don't think about color in the first place. And color is also, I'm working on the siege in terms of accessibility. And my main subject is one of the accessibility subject is color. So color is always a problem for artists. And color exploration is another process. So I don't have anything in my mind in terms of color. Most of the time, think about the shape, think about the form. If the form is good, even without the color, you will see, even without the color, it will be just good enough. Even you can put it in the game using the development purposes, it will be just perfect. How can we join this community? So you should visit toygel.org. I will write it over here if it is okay. And you have to register to the site. It's very easy. Like you will just register, you say just email, you confirm that, could be in spam though. And you just join the Discord, that's it. And we are basically a network like our beloved friends, Enoch, GDT, or so on. I will come to in that with the color. Color is a very, very, very hard subject. So mood, as you said, already mentioned, it affects the mood as well. So what did I do on the sculpting? I just made a base shape. Hey, I want to make a tower. A tower looks like a little bit medieval, but I drew this and I started to add some mood to it. The form is important. Even with the black and white, you can see like it is starting to becoming something. So I felt, hey, maybe this is not a shooting tower or maybe arbalete, a crossbow, sorry. Maybe this is a electrified medieval witch warlock tower, okay? And I made some textures on it. I will be drawing a little bit in the ZBrush and talking with you, but the textures are just textures. It's just to, when I am designing in 3D, I want to see the mood of it, like it is making sense or not. So I made a little bit, how to say, textures to the middle, mesh up a little bit, a small flag on top of it, and this is the next step I can. Okay, so I said like, okay, this is going good. And maybe I showed to my friends and to the art director, hey, what do you think? And I get some feedbacks or for the art outsourcer. Hey, is this okay? Is this okay? Don't draw something to the 100% and show to the art outsourcer or the director. It is not good. Make it 20%, 30%, sketch it, and just show after that because you have to save time. What did I do? I actually get the middle object over here. So this is the middle object. And I just replicate it and stretch it out. Just stretched out. It is the same object. It is the same object. And I go over here, mask it, and make it like a rocket. It is looking pretty good. I think like that. I am not sure what you guys thinking right now, but I hope you like it. And I think about, okay, so maybe there should be some small doors that which can get through, maybe a little bit, a window over here, and maybe some stuff that they can go through. I'm still in design 3, so I am thinking logical in terms of that. But when I go to painting, I will fake things out. How can we join Ubisoft programmer team, or how can be good enough for Ubisoft? What are your suggestions? So this is another topic, but I've been working in the industry quite a while, and for the right games after Ubisoft, and I will be possibly in the gaming industry till I die. And what I can suggest you, John, is that the companies come and go. Companies are, Ubisoft is an awesome company, to be honest, like the right games. But rather than how can I be very good, become very good enough to join a company like Blizzard or something else like Ubisoft, focus on how I can become very good like the other super engineers. Okay, set your target to the people, to the teachers that you want to become, not the companies. Companies are just companies. Companies are made of the people. So if you are interested in the Ubisoft, take a look at the engineers in the Ubisoft. You will get an idea how high the level of them are. To be honest, is a very high level in any discipline. Don't care about the seniority. The seniorities doesn't matter in the companies. So back to the subject. I drew a little bit flex on top of it. I like it. And maybe some holders, make it physical, you know. I'm also graduated from Istanbul Technical University, physics engineer. So maybe it should be statically stable also. And then maybe a small door, some ladders to warlock to go in, a little bit background. Okay, so I said, this is good enough. It is already looking good. And the next stage, okay, like I made a pose, okay? I'm just still in the ZBrush, by the way. I didn't get, I'm designing it. I made a pose, turn it a little bit. If I can have drop on top of it. I turn it a little bit. Maybe I said, okay, maybe these things are cutting right now, as you can see over here. But it's not important because I'm
Ama
not
bu çok önemli değil. Çünkü
3D object, but my target is 2D. So it is the fundamental difference between the 2D and the 3D. When the 2D, you can just fake things out. And if it's going to be a 3D object, each angle you look at your sculpt or head or an architectural object, it should be making sense. But right now, it doesn't matter for me because I will paint it over. I am just focused on how it looks. So I said, like, maybe make a flag a little bit better compared to here. Maybe add these people, maybe we can use some kind of electricity on top of it. It's a wish tower. So I made a bulky, a little bit better shaped flag on top of it. And I'm done with the stage. Next stage is, okay, so it's a defense tower. Even push further my design, okay? I opened the perspective a little bit to imagine how it goes into my game. And I make my textures a little bit dots on top of it. It's not important. You can do this on any stage of your art. But I like doing this small things. I really love sculpting. So I really like to do those on sculpts as well. I made a shield over here. Okay, hey, this is a defense tower. Maybe this can be even very, very big, right? Very, very big. Depends on what you are trying to achieve. Is it important in your game, not important in your game? But the overall silhouette is important. So you should be always keeping in mind that I will be focusing on the silhouette of my shape, because it will be little tiny on your mobile phone. People even don't look at it. Like, they will see which part, this part. These parts will be very, very important for them. The flag, the shape overall, where they look at us. So they will be able to recognize user experience. They will be able to recognize what they are looking at from the silhouette, and they push the item. Also, the appealing is important, and the silhouette, because maybe you will cut these parts and this doesn't exist, let's say. This will be your level 1 tower without the flag, level 2 tower, level 3 tower. Okay, so you have a monetization method as well with your art. Okay, so far so good. Hopefully, let me know. So what else? I designed. I'm pretty happy with my sculpt right now. Okay. It is looking good. I didn't focus everything. It doesn't matter. Like, to make extrusions over here as well. I can just paint it over. And the good part is you made a 3D object. So even if you have to use it again in a 3D game, you can just open your sculpt and make it a little bit, tweak it, revamp it, retopology and texture it, and you have a 3D game object and you can use in another game. And the art you did doesn't go to the trash, you know. Keep always your source files. So what else? I designed and I go to rendering stage. So I will walk you through the rendering. Okay. So this is KeyShot. Is a rendering software. You press on the button from the ZBrush, it goes over here. You can use, as I said, like the ZBrush itself, or Blender, or Maya, or Pixar RenderMan, whatever you want. But I personally love KeyShot. It is very fast and super capable. People use it a lot for jewelry and the different kind of purposes. And what I did, I clicked the button, ZBrush come over my KeyShot with all the items. I just put a single material on top of it, just one material, and a 3-point lightening, good enough for me. I put my camera to isometric. And I will not go into the KeyShot details. It is not very, very complicated program. It is a camera, after all. You put your materials and stuff off. And the hard part is achieving the artistic style, the mood of it, the lightening of it, the base structures. And here we are. So I will just get a couple of renders, different renders. I will just get this one with another writing. And this is the first one. It is the how it comes from the ZBrush. One of the good things about the keyshot as well, you don't have worry about the UVs. You can put any texture on it. Then I get a little bit more dramatic light just on top, and just to bump up the middle section of it. And because that is the place where the players will be looking at most of the time. So it needs a little bit special attention. I made an ambient occlusion one, lower the shadows. I will use this one for faking out the 2D drawing aspects, as well as my line art. This is just material in Keyshot. You put it on, make some setup, and it just renders the shadows as flat. And it is already usable. You can make an art with this. Like there's a lot of games from Clay Entertainment, which I love, just with sketch styles. So you can even use this. And I made a flat base color. Why I did this? Because I will use this for the Photoshop just to get over the lines. So it will increase my speed up. You know, I don't have to always select those positions, draw it again. We use this also in the 3D pipeline, like making ID maps, just to paint it more easily. And so this is the all four of them together. I will show you on screen, all four of them. I get 5 renders. You can make more depending on what you are doing. Even 2, 3 is enough. Even 1 is enough. But I am trying to lower my process as much as possible. So far, so good. So I go to the Photoshop. This is, right now I finished all my drawing, all my form. I'm satisfied with it. I showed my concept to the art director. Oh, this is looking awesome. Can you paint it and make it more shiny? He said, okay, let's do it. And what I did, I put my object and I just make these IDs that we rendered into the individual parts. So what can I do is I can actually select those parts. And right now I can draw any kind of things, just not going out of it. You know, I can make it like this. So I can start to create my drawing. This is the first part of it. Please don't dive into your drawing just directly. Make a plan. Always be organized, because if you are not organized in this industry, in user interface design, in game arts, you will suffer. Like no questions asked. Like you always keep it. Always keep your iterations. Always keep your sculpting iterations. So, okay, this is like a information about the translation. And so this is my base render. I put it on Photoshop. Okay, I just put it on Photoshop. I put a layer on top of it, the line art, and it instantly created me a different aura. I will just do like this to you. Awesome. This is looking far more better, I guess. I will open this part as well, like layers and so on. So what did I do? I just put line art on top of it and just pop up the corners of it. the textures of it. I will just leave it like this. I made this dramatic lightning version. On top of it, open my multiply channel on top of it, and just give some occlusion from the environment. I said, maybe just pop this front part up, more shield up, give a little bit shadow to the background. I'm still on, as you can see, without color. There is no color at all. Yes, sometimes colors look a little bit different on game engines. It is called color degradation. And you can use, like, if you are importing JPEG or PNG, always use your color profiles. What kind of a color profile you are using? There is a lot of color profiles defined through the years by Adobe, by Macintosh. So you should set a baseline for it. Okay, what my black looks like. There is also black. What is the black volume in game engines? But also on top of it, there could be post effects in your game. Make it a little bit bluish, or depending on mood of your game. So you have to calculate those. And it's technical artists and the 3D renderers job, which is a very deep subject. This another subject. Okay, Emre, I will in the end, I will come to that. I have, I guess, 20 minutes left, so I will go through the process, start drawing and answer your questions. So color is, you do an icon, like, it's very good. You do this, okay? So, if it was, the flex was yellow, it will be far more better. So colors is always a discussion thing, but we artists use color with an idea in our mind. Also as designers, as special designers, we use color for functionality. Not just we do things like, hey, I will do the flex blue. So we use a sheen. It's principle. It is not rules. Don't get me wrong. You can use any color you want, but the great artists use color very, very good. I highly recommend you reading books about the color. Color is always a problem. And what color you see. So I will be making possibly a talk about in terms of the color fundamentals in the game UI UX Turkey. You can find it on LinkedIn. I will write it over here. And we will basically deep dive into I will also write in our community, deep dive on the fundamentals of the color. We just don't use color for, hey, it's red or it's blue. We have a thought of it, and it's a very, very deep subject, believe me. Philosophers give their lives on the subject. So it depends. It depends what you need, what the game needs, what the people want, what kind of aura you are looking for. Right now, I am just focusing on, hey, put some colors on top of it. Okay, I didn't think about this. Hey, purple, blue, greens a little bit. Okay, just separate the object. Okay, separate the object from the things, from the other architectural specs. Then I didn't like the colors. Of course, it will change. So I made it a little bit, okay, this may be a little bit yellowish. It doesn't matter. It really, really doesn't matter. Like, I just put colors, I'm dividing some stuff, and I'm coming there. What I have in my mind, I want to make it saturated and positive, because our game is like a Shire from the Lord of the Rings. It will be, I want an aura similar to that. Not that much, but a stylized version of it. So I want my game object to be not a dark witch tower, but a noble witch tower. Okay, I don't want a blue shield. I put a shield. I made some gradients and make my flag a little bit. I've saturated middle part of the roof because I will always focus on this. It is the most important part for me. I will pop up this. This is the 6. And the whole painting process took me, yesterday I did it. I didn't have time to polish it a lot. It's a pretty good stage, I believe. And I spent like 2.5 hours with the interruptions or so, but it's finished somehow. Then what did I do? Okay, it's yellow. I don't like the yellow on the walls of it. I want to make it a little bit medieval. Okay, from this to this. So what did I do also? I covered this part. I make this part a little bit bigger. I want to pop it up. I draw this parts into the darkness, make it hollow, give some details, maybe over here, start to make a gradients and so on. From this to this to this. I start to sketch over here a little bit. Then I go over, pop up a little bit, okay? A little bit pop up, not too much. I'm not going to the details. And when you're working, it's good to not focus on the same position at all times. Do a little bit from the ground, do a little bit from the flag, a little bit on the roof. Don't get yourself bored. Keep your eye moving on the image. So from this to this, then to this. So I just give some super small highlight section, super small, nothing much. I'm prepared this part, maybe pop up a little bit. What else? Make same colors, darker one, saturated one over there. Some highlights over here and there. What else? A little bit highlights over here, here, here. That's pretty much it on this stage. Oh, yeah, I do use different techniques over there. I use blending layers, but I use blending layers over these stages, okay? Just to find out what I want. Then, digital painting is, as you can understand from the naming of it, it is a painting. So you don't just put and blend layers on top of it. There is a certain stage, which is this stage actually. After this stage, I go into painting. I paint things now right now. So I started painting on it. I'm literally painting, like, doesn't using blending layers. I'm painting on it with normal layer and giving some shadows and pop-ups. And it is lining over here. I can show you from backend. See, like I'm literally drawing on it. Literally drawing, making a little bit lines over here and there, popping it up, polishing it further. Okay, and on this stage, I started to paint. This is just painting over and over again. Then it seems to be I am not satisfied with the color. Still I am looking for something. This felt a little bit too much green. I want to break that part. Maybe our medieval building is a little bit bluish. I felt this purplish bluish making sense with the red one much more. This is patriotic colors right now. It is pretty good. I have red, green, a little bit bluish, and the bluish wall, and a yellow to pop it up. That's just perfect. And you can always make this and make color variations out of it. It is just okay. You go over and you change the color. It's just okay to see where it's going, you know? Is it going to be, did I like this? Did I like this? Did I like blue? Whatever you want. Don't worry about the colors. Colors can always change. Then a little bit more popping up. I will zoom it again. Okay, just small sharpness. I made a little bit sharpness. So this is a filter I use it all the time. It is called high pass. It is used on physics as well. So you have a signal, you color signal, and you get the upper parts of it. You cut the lower parts. I get this and I use an overlay to sharpen up my image, just go over the lines. Also, not everywhere. The places that I'm going to be, my eye is looking, which is the roof. So see how the roof is becoming sharp. I'm making a sharpening filter, like the Instagram or other filters do. Then, okay, so I said, okay, my shape is good, but something is bothering me, which is the roof. So I made this dents to the roof. Basically, I put a line under them. I pop up the roof a little bit, not too much, but I feel this is right now looking far more better. Pop it up a little bit, color variation. It shouldn't be like when you are drawing a face or some other object, the color is always changing. So our skin is not pinkish yellow all the time. It depends on the environment. So feel free to use different colors. Add some oranges, pinks over here. Then make some environments. Okay. Just I will show you like this. The fun part. Now we are completing our painting to present it. I made an aura, whatever our game texture is looking. I imagine maybe it's like this. Put some clouds, make it green, blend it with the aura. There's an error over here, not very important. We fixed that as well. And it suddenly just changed everything, which is awesome. Then a little bit color exploration. What am I doing? Right now I am exploring my color. So I am not just going for reddish red or bluish yellow, bluish blue or yellowish yellow. I am a little bit adding pinks on top of it, a little bit desaturation or so on. How do you can use the color profiles on your Photoshop, which is basically over here. I will make a layer example to you. So color profiles, color lookup is basically the profiles. You can do various kind of stuff. See, with the Photoshop as well. Photoshop is far more enough for doing any kind of stuff on your photographs or paintings. All right, so we finished. Now testing, great. Now I am testing. Let me close this part. I will just open the display capture as well to show you. So this is the color part, my friends. And I made my object. I colored it. I desaturated it. I finished it. It's good enough. And keep in mind that it will be something on the right. On your screens, it will be super small. So don't polish it too much. It is not worth it. When you are or the customer is satisfied, first of all, you're satisfied. The artwork is finished. I know it when I see it. And I will just put our finished stylized artwork on over the V5 just to show you the process we had. All right, so I'll walk you through. It's a quite a process. The whole thing can be achieved more or less 2 hours there. Let's say 2 hours if you know ZBrush very good. If you don't know, you can just draw by hands, but I highly recommend you to learn the 3D software to lower your, it can be even SketchUp. Google SketchUp is super free. Blender is super free. It's awesome program, awesome software, awesome tool. I use it. And you can actually make $100 just in 4 hours, basically in one day. It's good money. And it's a good artwork. It's fun to work with it. Hello, we are a team of art outsourcers from Pakistan. The industry is young here and we are still learning. Awesome. My question is, if we are making something new, which we haven't done before, how can we ensure we take the art direction the client wants without spending too many revisions of the initial concept? Yes, so that's where the concept art, concept 3D comes in. So as I said, like you don't have to paint and polish all the stuff. There's very good tools about it. And the tool is, first of all, you yourself. And what I can advise you to guys, I will ask for you, but I will want to go to key shot scene. I just want to make some drawing over here while we're talking. And let me see the question again. So what you can do is your art is 100%, okay? The finished art that you will get money is 100%. What you need to give the first 10% of it to the customer. 10% of it is the one I showed the first form of it. Show that, don't be afraid of it if you are in a highly iterative process. And you can do this concepts in 3D or in 2D. You can just photo kit bash on top of it. So you art direct yourself, the customer art directs you, and you find your way. When you find your way 1-2 times, it will be super easy for the whole art outsourcing team. But it is a skill set also. I worked as an art lead in the Riot games as well, or in here. So there is always an art direction in you. The art direction becomes more and more mature and thick-skinned with the years. And it's another skill set to be honest. And most of the time when you are making a conversation from an artist designer to the non-artist designer, you should push the right stones, because don't get me wrong, guys, like most of the time the customer doesn't know what they want. So you have to, it is part of your skill that you should grow. I call it emotional kung fu. You have to get the people over there, okay, to understand and teach them what they want. So I will be, if you guys have any questions, I will just answer them. And there was a question about the ZBrush, key shot. I will show that. And I think there will be next panel start at 1 p.m. So after this, there's a break. But I will just continue 10-15 minutes on the ZBrush and key shot, talk with you, answer your questions if you guys have. And I will demonstrate something on the actual key shot. I will demonstrate that, what was your name? Emre. My friend from the Pakistan, I will just say that hey, you were drawing this castle, and the customer just said, hey, let's not make it a witch castle, but a ballistic cannon castle. So I will also show you in the ZBrush how easily we can achieve this in no time, in just blink of an eye. So it is one of the skill set that should be in your art team. And there was a question about the key shot. Key shot is something like this, my friends. I will open the key shot. Okay, is this one? Yeah. So this is key shot. Can I make it bigger? Awesome. So let's make it like this. Key shot full. Also, key shot is something like this. I'll just, so it have camera views. I will make them, there is lightnings, interior product base. I will just make a basic lighting on top of it just to show very performing. I will get the free camera, and here is my object. Like this is the very good thing about it. So you made an object into game, but you can actually make it another camera angle. It is, which can be a little bit perspective, let's say, and make a camera angle, field of view a lot bigger. Come like this, okay, and make it a little bit more appealing. Okay, so you can just make something like this. Render this, put your menu, here is your main menu in your game. It is just by like that. So this is the power of the 3D using the approaching your game when you are creating an art from the scratch. And it is something like this. You can do any angle, any coloring. If you want, you can put materials on top of it. I will just actually divide the materials very, very quickly. I don't want to lose time with this. Unlink materials. I will just unlink the materials. Okay. So I have many materials right now. I will just put randomly on top of everything, see where it goes. Maybe some plastic over the top. I don't know. I will image, so color. Awesome. I don't know, to the here, maybe some glass to here. So you can do various kind of stuff with KeyShot. And you don't have to, so it's very good for 3D concepting. I do it a lot, 3D concepting. I sculpt all the time. And you can create images in no time. So this is the KeyShot. I will just pause it because it gets my GPU all the time. Can you show some of your works on Ubisoft games? It is okay. Yeah, you can just look into the game, and I just did the reticles on top of it. Last time I do UI and UX over here. So our Ubisoft stuff is a little bit, how to say, we have 2D visual arts and right now, but I cannot show you right now anything about it. But if you are I don't like it's we call terzi kendi sökünü dikemez. I don't show most of my portfolio in my website, and this is my art station if you guys want to visit. And I have an Instagram as well. You can find it out. I just do my all the time work in progresses things over there. And here's the link of it, Mili. And you can also access my stuff from here. There is some of my works, it's just sculpts and so on. I'm updating it when I have time, to be honest. And because I'm also a designer, I do design, I love design, I love solving problems, game design problems, user experience problems. So I do right now 75%, 50% design, and 25% art right now. I'm actually happy that we are making art together today. So this was the key shot, and I will just go back to ZBrush again. And my key shot is already there. I will just close it. And it is already 11 p.m. So thanks for listening. I can get your questions if you have any. I will move with drawing a little bit for 10-15 minutes and achieve that we want a canon over here. If it is okay for our event organizers, by the way. So I have my object over here and I have my subtools. I just want to make a canon on top of it very, very quickly. I will demonstrate this for my Pakistani friend. And the art studio over there. Also for all of you, not just for him. Okay, I just removed the top part. Okay, I'm just hiding it actually, not removing it. Let's close this one. What is this? Close this one. I will just close this one. Okay. I have also this kind of object over here. Okay, and let's get the door off. See, it's already a new object to me. Now, I will remove these parts as well. And after removing, make a new object. Why I removed that? Because maybe the game art director or the customer said, hey, we don't want a wish tower. Sorry if it debriefed you wrong. We need a canon, big canon for this game for the event or so. Super. Let's do it like that. And I will just make a canon on top of this. So I have a couple of minutes more to go, which is awesome. Time pressure from Serdar, Mr. Serdar. And I will be just making a new object. So I go to a new object, appended a cylinder. I divided it one time. And what I want to do, I want to make a canon on top of this. I will just get this part. I will make it a little bit bigger. Awesome. It is already looking good. So I will just make the canon over here. I might want to make it very bulky. You will see where it goes. I literally don't have anything in my mind. I will just go to my geometry. I will make polymesh 3D, which is awesome. I will just go geometry and I will go Z modeler up. And I will select these parts. Q mesh, a single poly, and select these ones just very quickly. And let's extrude them. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, let's make it a little bit stylized. For doing stylized, I will just make it like a, go to the middle, make it taper, a little bit like this, a little bit like this. Awesome. Maybe a little bit like this. Looking good enough. Subtool, I will add a new, just a sphere. If I can ever add. My pen is broken. That's why, that's the main problem of it. I'm using it a lot. And these are not the stablest things, to be honest. So I did something maybe like this, a little bit smaller. Oops. Maybe it has a dance. Okay, let's make a duplicate the object. Make it like this. Like this. Awesome. I will just merge visible. Make polymesh 3D. I will go back to my original sculpt. I come over here, append my new object. Oh, super big. I will just make small. Oh, oh. All right, there we go. I want this to be big, you know, every gamer will look on this. It will be on this part somewhere. I think if we do it like this, it should be just awesome. 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 And a little bit thinner. And I will append 2 squares to it. 2 squares. Of course, using the tool, knowing the tool in a very good certain level. How do you optimize high poly count? I usually retopology it or use subdivision models, but if I am using for going for a 3D object, right now I am not thinking about optimizing polygon count. And actually, when you look at the objects over here, it is pretty much low poly, and you can just divide, remove the subdivisions on top of it, and just will be okay. But if I doing a face, very high poly sculpt, like a very, very detailed one, I draw it in ZBrush, I retopology in Topogon. I go to Topogon, is another software. I retopology it in a certain level. Then I get my Topogon low poly mesh onto ZBrush again. I project them together and open the subdivided, retopology it, project the stuff, and it's another thing. It's a 3D pipeline. Right now, I am just going for 2D, but this is the way basically I retopology stuff and I optimize the high poly count. And what kind of a poly count we want in our game is about the tech. It is nowadays, it is not a big problem. Even if you guys see the Unreal Engine, new Unreal Engine, it is looking awesome. And it is basically in the RTX technology can render millions of polygons, which is basically high poly Dynamesh in ZBrush. So basically it will be changed this process in years, I feel, maybe 10 years or so. And retopology is not a big problem, to be honest. Retopology and polygon count, you do what you got to do. Like the other veteran game developers didn't in the first times, like the pixel art is super good, still usable, and low polys will be usable. Maybe there will be super high poly things in the games, but people will go low poly because it's a style. After all, it's the art style. Open my symmetry, make it a narrower. It doesn't have to be perfect. I did it like this. So I make it like a Dynamesh. I just open the Dynamesh, get some of my brushes. I will just get, let's say, trim dynamic. Open my, I will just make it resolution high. A little bit, maybe it is like a stone or something. It's very good. Maybe 2 dents on of it. Maybe a little bit narrower. And whoop. And there you go. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just sculpting and concepting. I will just subdivide this, subdivide this, subdivide this. I will just crease first. Please, page to complete. Freeze the spots. Freeze the spots. I don't want to lose those. This look awesome. And hop, hop, hop. You can push it forward, whatever you want. But fundamentally, you have a new game object. Let's finish. Thank you so much for listening.